welcome to our next episode of
English Pop.
So Joshua, what do we have lined up for today?
Well, June, are you ready to go swimming?
Swimming? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the beach today because Compass Publishing has a virtual reading library called Reading Oceans.
Wow, Reading Oceans, it actually sounds pretty interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. Well, you know, last episode we did a little bit about extensive reading and showed our viewers how they could implement an extensive reading program into their classroom. Well, Reading Oceans is our digital reading library that actually helps with implementing extensive reading into the classroom. It has Nursery Rhymes, Phonics, graded readers, and a whole lot of other exciting activities.
Wow, that actually does sound really fun. And for our users who are more interested and more curious about what the program is all about, we actually are going to take a virtual tour with Joshua. He's going to lead us through the program itself, step by step from the sign-up stage, how the students can use it at home, and then the resources are going to be provided for our students and our teachers too.
Yeah. So are you ready?
Definitely.
Let's do it. It's English Pop.
Reading Oceans is a digital reading program for English language learners that offers a reading environment which empowers learners to select books based on their interest and skill level. Reading Oceans also provides teachers and parents the tools to monitor and report student activity. Well, Josh, I'm actually really excited about this Reading Oceans program, and I'm actually very, very happy that we're going to get to see a virtual tour of it too.
Yeah, we're going to take you on a tour throughout the whole program, through each system that is offered, and basically show you how to do everything in a step-by-step manner.
Okay, so where do we start?
Well, let's go ahead and input our ID and password here, which will be given to us by your local distributor wherever you're studying, and go ahead and push submit.
Okay, now that we get to this page and we've put in all the information, this is the first time I'm actually seeing the site before, so what's the next step that we should go to?
Okay, so once you're logged in here, you want to go over to the left-hand side where it says Reading Oceans, and go down to where it says First Visit, and click that. Okay, so now you're in the First Visit page where you have the opportunity to view the level chart, take a level test, and also view some samples. So we'll go ahead and do a level test to see where we're leveled at. Okay, and as we start the level test, just push start, and you just answer each question the best you can. So choose the best picture for the word here. Hot, maybe A. Okay, next. Doctor, that looks like a doctor, right? Hey, not really, huh? Okay, news, that looks like the news. Light. Job, how about that? Watch. Food. Run. Smile.
So it actually looks like a lot of the questions available for the level test is going to be all multiple choice.
Yeah, and so it's actually going to change as you take the test. So if you're answering every question correctly, it'll get progressively difficult. So, you know, I've been answering most of these correctly so far, so it's probably going to place me on a high level. It's going to keep increasing the level of the questions. Sing, spend. I want to get some of these wrong so I don't get placed too high. That looks like die. Sit down. Yeah, sit. Oh. And if you don't check anything, you can just say I don't know, right? Maybe you just want I don't know. Next. Please pick one to answer this. Okay, so here we go. Maybe this one. Especially. Choose the best meaning for the word. Especially.
So in this level test program, about how many questions are there?
Well, it depends on your testing ability. So if you're getting each one of them wrong, you won't have very many questions to answer. You already know where you're at. Temporarily. And I'm just trying to guess through these now so I can get placed at a kind of a... Okay. And then we have some comprehension questions up here as well. So they'd like you to read this passage and then go ahead and answer the question. So why does Tom fall? Sue pushes him. What is the story about? Dropping a camera. Tom stands on the rock, so the picture will be good. And you can see here where you have a time limit to take the test as well. Yep, I'm sure. Oh, my level is 4. Wow, so you can see here we have 25 different levels in reading notions. From the answers to my questions during this level test, it's basically placed me at a level 4. And you can see right here where the Lexile level and the other various US grades and whatnot that go along with that. So after you're finished with that, you're going to want to press finish, and then you're back on this reader's page. So basically, that's the login and the level test, and what you have to do to complete that. And we're going to go a little bit further here in the next segment to talk about each section of reading notions.
Great, it sounds pretty easy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next after a level test. Well, Josh, the level test seemed really easy, and now that we finally have our results, let's see how we can actually use the program now.
All right. Well, we'll start in the very beginning and with the very easiest content, which is Nursery Rhymes. So go here to the left-hand side and click on Nursery Rhymes, and it'll take you to the Nursery Rhyme page. You'll see up top here that there are 5 levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each level has 10 nursery rhymes, and each nursery rhyme has these different parts. So there's flashcards, there's rhymes, you can watch it, you can sing along, and you also can print it off. And you can see here the flashcards where you can check what they mean here.
So it looks like with these flashcards, we're going to be able to preview some of the words that are going to come up in the nursery rhyme itself.
That's absolutely right. So after you have a chance to preview the words, you can go ahead to the next one and check the rhyme. In here, you can see where the girl and the boy both will read the actual nursery rhyme, so you can practice and listen to them reading it. So if you're a boy student, you can listen to the boy, and if you're a girl, you listen to the girl.
And then I also noticed that the words that we looked at the flashcard sections, the friend, sit, and come, were actually up here in the nursery rhyme also.
That's right. Okay? And then we'll go on to the watch section, where you have a chance to actually watch the nursery rhyme being sang. And you can do this in regular screen, or you can click down here to go full screen.
Now, this actually looks like a very fun and interactive way for students to have more participation in the classroom than just sitting at their desk the whole time.
Yeah, I think really incorporating TPR within these videos.
Oh, you just mentioned TPR. If you don't mind, can you explain to our viewers a little bit more details of what TPR actually is?
Sure. TPR is total physical response, and that's a language learning technique where you use movements to learn vocabulary and other parts of the English language. And it's very useful for very young learners. Okay, so after you watch it, we go to the next part where it says sing along. And when you click that, you actually have a chance to record your own voice singing the nursery rhyme. So now you have a chance to sing it, and that's a lot of fun because if you like singing, well, here's your chance to perform like a pro. Okay, so after that, there's a print function, and that's very useful for teachers and students as well. You push that button, it'll download automatically the nursery rhyme, and you can pull it up here as a printable file. So there's a very useful thing that you can take away from this nursery rhyme section.
And it actually looks really fun because if you print these out, you can actually have the students color in the pictures and have a little bit more interaction, a little bit more fun activities than just incorporating the singing and the reading along with it too.
Yep, that's absolutely right. So after we do nursery rhymes, we would then move on to the phonics section. I think we'll talk about that next.
Well, Josh, the nursery rhyme looks really fun. What else is there for reading notions?
Well, the nursery rhymes are really fun, and I love to sing them on my own, actually. Okay, so we would imagine at the next level for young learners, they would need to learn the foundation of English, right?
Yes.
And so the foundation comes phonics. And so here on our Reading Notions program, we go over to the left-hand side, go down one, where the phonics menu is, and click it. Once you go there, it'll take you to the phonics landing page. And you can see here that there are 5 levels of phonics, and each level contains various contents. As you can see in the first level, we're going to go through A, B, C, D, E, F, and then that's followed by a phonics reader.
Okay.
where you actually will use the sounds and the words that you've learned in a story. So you might notice down here, there are some icons underneath. And so this is sounds, words. This is a quiz activity, sort of a game. And then we have a story, right? So would you like to go ahead and check one of these out?
Definitely.
Okay, so let's go ahead and check out sounds. Click on the icon. Okay, and it takes you to this page. And go ahead and press play.
So it actually looks like not only are we learning the sound with it, but we're actually going to be seeing the handwriting motions of the uppercase and lowercase letter to it too.
That's right. It's really good for young learners to, get a grasp of the motor skills and how they would actually make the letters. Because, if they've never, written before, it might be kind of challenging to actually make the letters with their hand, right?
And then it looks like we're having a matching animal that goes along with each letter that's being shown also.
Sure. And so that's where they're going to take the knowledge from their L1 and apply it to what they are learning here in the phonics section. So as this goes through, we learn the sounds of the words, and then after that's finished, you go back to the landing page here, and then we're going to learn the words.
Okay.
So the sounds we just learned, we're going to learn them in words. So you click the W icon, and then I'll take you up here to the words section. So go ahead and press play. And now we're going to learn all those sounds in the words as well.
So we have our original and sound from the beginning, and then it pairs up with, looks like 3 additional words that have that same phonics sound start.
Right, so we got ant, apple, angry, alligator. So now students are getting a little bit more of exposed to more vocabulary with the target sound. And this will go through A, B, and C. And as they actually say the words in this program, towards the end of this words section, it'll be a little chant like A, or B, 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 baby. So it chants along so kids can, catch it, and it's very catchy and easy to remember.
Sounds really fun, actually.
Oh yeah, I love it. So after this is finished, we go ahead and go back to the landing page. And now we have a bit of a quiz/game activity where there's some gamification involved. So go ahead and click the Q icon, and it takes you to this quiz/game where students are asked to listen to the beginning sound and then click on the correct picture. So here, basically, we're going to hear a beginning sound, for example, K. And then the student would hear the K, and which one would they click on, Joon?
Well, it looks like the middle one looks like a cookie.
Right. So they click on cookie, and they get a point down here. And then the images would change again, right? So, and actually in each phonics lesson, this quiz/game activity is different. So children won't get bored because they're always changing the game and the activity.
And it seems to be very good practice for listening. Earlier we saw a lot of visual representation of the letters being written and then sound together, but now seems to be if they can understand the sound without actually looking at the image itself.
Yeah, that's right. So you get listening practice as well as the target sound and target word practice that they've been studying. So after this is finished, it'll take you back here to the landing page again. And now we're going to basically take the sounds we learned with the words we learned and then use them in the context of a story.
Okay.
So we click on the story icon. It'll take us to the story section.
So it looks like we have the same visuals that we saw earlier, so they'll have that recognition to it too. They have the background knowledge of the sound, and now they'll be able to see a combination of the words being used in full sentence form.
Right, so the recycling of the sounds, the recycling of the vocabulary, all these things are going to really ingrain the lesson into the student's mind. And so when they come away from this lesson in the phonics section, they're going to have a great grasp of the letter A, B, and C along with these vocabulary words that they've learned. Okay, and so once that's finished, you can either replay, you can do all these once again if you'd like, or go back to the list and just click list button, and now you're back in the phonics landing page, and you can see there's a check mark here, meaning we have accomplished this one. So then we'll go on to the next one.
Sounds great.
And you can see here the content and everything that's involved. So that's a little bit of a summary of the phonics section for you. And after that, we'll move on to the readers.
Great. Well, great, Josh. Thank you for going ahead and speaking to us about the phonics program. It seems like from the nursery rhymes to the phonics, the level of difficulty is increasing. So for our higher level students, what do we have to offer through Reading Oceans?
Well, for the higher level students, it's really the best part of Reading Oceans is the readers, where we have 25 levels and very extensive activities that go along with each reader. You can see down here we have an ebook icon where you can actually read and follow along the ebook. There's a watch and listen icon where you can actually watch and listen to the book as it plays along, kind of like a movie. There's also a quiz where you can, check your comprehension of the content. And then we have also an extras icon that has lots of games and various other activities that go along with each reader.
Okay, well, earlier we took a level test and it placed at a level 4. Would you mind showing us level 4 reader then?
Absolutely. So level 4 here, and let's go ahead and check on the koalas. It's a very cute animal and very fun to do. So first off, we'll go ahead and click on the ebook here, and that'll take us to the ebook page. So once you start the ebook, you press this arrow, and you can see up here that it's being read along, and you can see the time as it goes. When this time frame finishes, you can go ahead and press the arrow button and go to the next page.
So it looks like we're not just following along with our eyes, we're actually going to be able to hear a listening portion with it too.
Yep, that's exactly right. Okay. And once you go through the reader, then you go back to the main menu here, and you can listen and watch. And we'll check that out together as well. So once you go there, you just press play. And now you'll be able to watch the story in a little bit different setting and different angle. And I want you to take notice of the closed captioning here where I can turn it on, or turn it off, or turn it back on to challenge myself if I want to just listen and not read.
And what I noticed so far is that these images, even though they're still focused on the main topic, they're different than what's going to be from the ebook. So it's going to give us a lot more variety with the images and giving more exposure to the students too.
That's right. Okay. So after we finish this, then we go back to the main again. And now we can take the quiz to check our comprehension of the story. Okay. And the quiz is, there's 5 questions in level 4, so let's go ahead and do this.
And as you're actually taking the quiz, it actually looks like we're able to combine what we got from the ebook, what we got from the videos, and how we read our through our own process itself, combining all those skills together.
That's right. Oh wow, so I just took the quiz and it looks like I got a score of 80. Very good, you are so smart. See, that positive reinforcement at the end is something students that are very young always need.
But if you do want to get 100%, a lot of teachers will make their students take the quiz over again until they actually get a perfect score. Is that available to do with this option too?
Yes.
Great.
Once we're finished here, we can go ahead and go push the list button. It'll take us back to the main menu. And we're still not done. Now we have extra activities to do with this reader. So let's check those out as well. And the first one is a word list. And it's flashcards that go along with the reader. So we have small, type of tree, bark.
And it looks like we're actually introducing different pictures along with the words with it again. So it's going to give more exposure to a different setting and more of a holistic kind of view with the vocabulary being taught.
Yep, that's exactly right. After you go ahead and review the vocabulary words, you can go down to the word game. These are all very fun. Just kind of click here, and you pull this down, and you'll start this sort of like a slot machine or something. The next word is sleep. So now I should choose the correct one here. And I'll choose this one. Oh, looks like I got it right.
So we're actually introducing a mixture of combination pictures and trying to match the word we're looking for.
Yep.
Looks very, very fun.
And each reader has a different activity that goes along with it, so you won't get bored with the same activity every time. Okay, so after we do that one, we'll go down to the sentence game. And this is asking us to basically put this sentence in the correct order.
So we're actually learning about the topic itself, we're reading along with it, and then we're introducing more of the written part with it also.
The koala is a special animal. All right. It'll give you 5 of these to do. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next part, which is the read aloud section. It allows you to permission on the microphone here on your computer. Just press yes and close that down and go ahead and press record. And now you have a chance to record your own voice reading the reader, and you can listen to it after you're finished, and your teacher can listen to it after you're finished as well. So it's nice to check how you sound,
And to also work on your pronunciation, your fluency, the speed, intonation. So it's going to be mixing a lot of the different parts and just reading the learning English process.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Once you're finished with that, then there's a book report section. And here we're putting things in different categories and trying to make a sequence with the reader. So we see it can smell very well. Looks like this one could be right.
And then like our other listen section, we're actually integrating different pictures once again with the same kind of definitions and pairing them with certain different words. So it's giving a lot more variety, more of a fresh appeal to the student's approach.
And once you're finished with this, you go ahead and press the list button. It'll take you back to the level 4 main page.
Great. Now, as you mentioned earlier, the level 4, it looks like we're actually able to access up to 1 through 25. Now, am I allowed to, as a user, go to different levels?
Sure. So let's just say we'll go to level 21 here and check out the readers. So there we go. Now we're at level 21, and we're able to access all the same options and all the same content that we did in level 4. It will be noted though, if I've been placed in level 4 from the test, extensive reading is always done best when you're doing reading at the appropriate level, right? So although I can go to level 21, no problem, it's probably best if I stay with level 4 and build my way up to level 21.
I see. Well, Josh, it looks like we finished our program itself. We went through the nursery rhymes, the phonics, and the reader section. You mentioned earlier about assessments and reports of how to see our own grades and our results from our time using the Reading Oceans program.
Yeah, so for students, these days children always have a smartphone with them, and they've grown up with technology, right? So whenever they do something on a computer or a phone, they want to see the results, and they want to see, some kind of reward or something like that. So in our program here, we have my report section where it gives students some learning management system where you talk the reading status, learning status, level report, and my ocean. So let's talk about that a little bit. So first, click on the reading status, and you'll go right here to see basically how many times you've logged in, the total books you've read, the total time spent in minutes, and the number of shells you've accumulated. And so you might wonder, and so may our viewers, throughout this tutorial, we've seen this shell up here, right?
Yes.
So every time you can complete a task in Reading Oceans, whether it be go through one nursery rhyme or do one phonics lesson or do one activity with the readers, you accumulate shells. So over time, you accumulate more and more and more shells. It's kind of like a reward system that gives students more motivation to continue to read and continue to grow.
That's actually pretty good. It's a good motivational tip, and it's not just a standard point system. We actually have this cute little design out there for us to look at too.
Right. So that's the reading status part, and then we can go ahead and check out the learning status. You just click on learning status. Okay, and so now we can see as a student what levels the percentage of the level I've accomplished. I can see the titles I've read, the quizzes and my quiz scores, the shells that I've gained, the time I've spent, the date I did it. All this information is so valuable, so they can really track their progress. And parents love it as well, because parents get excited when their students can see how well they're doing as well, right?
And it actually shows like a history of what they've learned, what books they've seen already, so they don't get confused of repeating to the same book over again or reading the same information over again too.
That's right. Okay, so and the next one is level report. So go ahead and click level report. It'll take us to this part here, where we can see in level 1, number of books read, time reading, the average quiz score, total number of shells, and it goes through its test achievement history. All these kinds of metrics are all, measured, and it's very comprehensive.
And it also looks pretty easy to see too. Instead of seeing an Excel sheet or a data chart, it's actually showing us our results in more of a visual format. So it's actually good to see. It's much easier, and the comparison is much easier to do in the end too.
And you can see here it's the average, the best, and me. So this is you versus everybody else, basically, right? So this is that competition that children love to do. They love to compete with each other, so they can see, how am I doing versus the average person, or how am I doing versus the best students, So that's pretty cool. And finally, we have My Ocean. So you go ahead and click My Ocean, and then you're going to see how many shells you've accumulated in this part here, and you'll see the ranking you are versus all the other students in your program. So again, this is another part of the competition thing we talked about, and actually seeing your results, from what you've done already. Okay, so that is the student part of the learning management system, and there's also a part for teachers as well. So this is one of the things that teachers love so much. So basically, let's go ahead and check that out. And the teacher's learning management system is right here. And you can see that there's a teacher center where they have user management, learning management, and resource materials. So you can see here that Mr. Johnson, well that would be me, I guess. And I basically have one student, Oliver. He's level 4. He's logged in 7 times. He spent 23 minutes in the program. Okay, that's great. So let me see what learning management is. You click learning management, and basically this is exactly what it is. You can also see the levels of the readers, and you can go through your different students here to check them individually as well. Okay. And here's the resource management, where all of the nursery rhymes, you can download the file and have those files to print out for your classroom. The phonics lessons, it gives a very good summary of all the phonics lessons involved, level 1 to 5. And the readers, you can also download and use as printouts in your classroom.
Great, so not only are you able to see the students' results, you're also given the materials and resources to use in class, and it seems like it maps out a pretty good way to actually see your lesson planning and provide you materials for the resources for that too.
Sure, it's so good with lesson planning. And all the levels 1 through 25 are all featured here, you can see. So that's really cool for teachers. Okay, so that kind of goes through our whole learning management system here. And we'll go back to the home page, and basically, we went through everything very comprehensively, and I hope that, you have a good understanding of the program.
No, it definitely was actually really good, and hopefully for all of our users, Josh was very helpful giving us a walkthrough with the materials provided. We really hope that makes it easier for everyone out there watching our episode to understand the program, the way it's actually being used, and how simple it can be and effective it can be used in the classroom.
Yeah, and don't forget, Reading Oceans is not just a digital library for the computer. It also is a mobile app, so if you go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store, you can download it for the mobile version, so you can actually do reading on the go. And that's really cool for students who are always, going from here to there, and they're, with their moms taking them to academies or different schools and things like that. And also, I want to say thanks for all you guys' time today. We hope it was really informative to you. And we had a kind of a milestone this week where our YouTube channel gained its 100th subscriber. So we really want to thank you for that. We're so happy and delighted that this type of thing has happened, and we hope that we can continue to provide you with lots of information, and we do the best we can. So, I'm Joshua Johnson.
And I'm Joon Lee.
This is English Pop, and we'll see you here again next week. Hello everyone, I'm Joshua Johnson.
And I'm Joon Lee.
Thanks again for watching English Pop. And if you like what you saw, please click below to subscribe.
You can also follow us on our Facebook and our Twitter accounts. And if you look at the description below, you'll see all of our links to our resources discussed in our series. And of course, you are always welcome to comments down below also.
And for all of our users in China, please don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here again next time on English Pop.